had more push mowers here, but a few of them got picked up. So we're going to talk about the fastest way to diagnose every push mower out there. So you guys stick around. This is Rayleigh's Small Engines, and I'm T-Bone. I'm going to show you how to diagnose them fast. Everyone that comes in the door, first place is going after I pull the cord outside is up on this roll cart and on a jack stand. To me, it's like they're all the same, you know, but I know they're not. But first thing I'm looking at, I'm looking for evidence of a blade all chopped up and scored up real bad, or bent, or on upside down. That just gives me some signs. Now that I've verified it's got a blade on there, it doesn't look real damaged or in real bad shape, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the air cleaner loose and I'm going to spray brake cleaner or brake cleaner or some gas with a squirt bottle, a cap full of gas. Do something to get something in there that's flammable, and in order to try it again. And I'm going to pull it, and if it pops off and runs and dies, okay, we just found out we've got compression, we've got fire. If it doesn't do that, I'll show you how to diagnose that also. If it does run though, what our next step is going to be is, number one, we're going to check this gas. We're going to smell it. Is our oil full and not over full? We're going to pull the fuel line off the carburetor. Is it draining out? If that gas has been in there a while, drain it, change it. Taking this carburetor, you're going to want to take it apart and clean it or replace it, and it'll fix your problem with some fresh gas and that fuel flowing through there. Some of these with the primer ball, they are really bad about the back cover. There's quite a few different styles of these that are really bad about the back cover warping, and when you prime it, it's not shooting fuel up inside to that carburetor throat. Y'all stand by and I'll show you a little more. Let's see if I get a flashlight. Most of these that have the primer ball, like right there, what I'm talking about is that plastic will warp around here, okay? But what it's doing is pushing air into the carburetor bowl, which will force it up through, let's see if I can get you where you can see. See that little short tube right there? It will shoot a little gas up through there, and doing the same thing as you're squirting in there with some brake cleaner or something like that. Make sure that that is working. Now, if you shot your brake cleaner and it cranks up and stays running, you've probably got a bad cover or it's leaking. And you can straighten them out with a heat gun or double gasket them or whatnot to fix them back up. But let me bend that back. Yep, there we go. That's pretty. So now we're going to talk about, if it did not fire up, I'm going to show you what to look for and diagnose that. Now remember, this is if you squirted your starter fluid in there, did not start. We're looking, now we're going to look toward a fire issue. When you pull that bail handle up here, what you're doing, when you pull that bail handle, what you're doing is you're pulling this cable back. Here is your kill wire. You want to make sure that this tab, when you pull that bail handle back, this tab is going back and not grounding that out. So, because a lot of times these cables will stretch or go bad, they get bent, all kind of stuff. If that is touching the ground right there, it will not start. Now you're wondering, you say, okay, I pull it. No, it's not connecting, it's not grounding it out. Okay, fine. Next thing you're going to want to do is come look underneath this coil. There'll only be one wire to this coil. You could tell this is an old machine. See this little wire up under here? There's one single little tiny wire, and it comes right from this kill switch. And all it does is ground out that tab to kill the engine. So reach there with some needle nose or something, unplug that wire. Just like, let's see if I can see and keep y'all on the camera too. See, I just unplugged that wire right there. Now what you'll want to do, and it doesn't matter where it touches, now what you'll want to do is pull your spark plug out, lay it up here on something metal. You may have to stick your engine cover back on and pull it over, see if it'll crank. You could even wrap a rope around the top right there if you wanted to. Spin it over. If it's firing, you know you got a problem with this wire or this bail kill right here. But those are some simple things. You don't need an ohm meter to check these coils. Unplug it. If it's not firing, if it still won't fire and that thing's unplugged, you got a bad coil or a bad spark plug. That's all it is to it. So new plug, if that don't fix it with that wire unplugged, put a coil on it. They don't go bad that often, folks. 9 times out of 10, what you're going to find is a carburetor. Just like this one, it's faster just to stick a new carburetor on it, clean the fuel tank. You can clean these carburetors and fix them, but I can promise you, they're going to leak. So basically, you're going to know, if it's your own machine, you're going to know what's going on. Yes, it was sitting up. Most likely, you're going to have a fuel issue. I hit something. Here's another good one. I hit something. You might have a bent blade or whatever, and now it jerks the rope back and hurts my hand, or it just won't start, or pops back through the exhaust or through the carburetor. What that is, after you've hit something, you have sheared the flywheel key. Very simple to fix. All you do, pop the cover off, pull the nut off, get this cup, screw the nut back down, find you a good place with a pry bar, use a brass hammer, screw your nut back on there, use a brass hammer, and give it a whack, and that flywheel will come right off. Replace the flywheel key. You're back in business. Easy. That nut, when you put it back on and put this flywheel on, make sure it's tight. You may have to look up the torque spec. I use a 1/2 inch impact. It ain't coming off when I get done with it. So, hope this helps somebody out. I'm T-Bone with Rayleigh's Small Engines. Y'all click that subscribe button. Come back to see us. We appreciate you guys watching. I got some more stuff to go fix, folks. See y'all later.